Buns Burgers and Big
Buns
Ideas.
Burgers, Big Ideas.
Do it.
Eric,
How did you know?
how did you know? We're here. We're back. We have another fantastic guest with us today, Mr. Tom Hash. Welcome to BX3. I like saying BX3.
Okay.
It makes it sound cooler.
Make it a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing, people. Hashtag.
Thanks for being here, Tom. Tom is our pace and development consultant, and he helps us out with a lot of different things. So, Tom, what do you do for the company, and what do you do to help us be the best?
So first of all, let me say thanks for inviting me here. It's exciting. I'm obviously a little bit nervous with
okay.
this. I've never been on a podcast before, so I don't know if any of this can be held against me in the future. But I'm just saying that a little bit nervous. So a little bit about myself. I've worked for McDonald's, quite frankly, for longer than most people have been alive. Actually, this June 10th was 44 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Just
Almost
seems
double
like
my age,
yesterday,
actually.
for heaven's sakes.
Shoot.
You know,
Congratulations. That's
Congratulations.
awesome.
I started at the tender age of 15, so what does that make me?
We won't do the math.
Yeah.
59?
Something.
Yeah?
No, more than that.
Okay. I'll take it.
Anyway, so
We won't share ages.
We won't share ages. We don't want to go there. Start off at McDonald's in the grill, do flipping burgers. That's way back when they flipped burgers instead of having clamshell grills and stuff. So, I've had a lot of experience. I came up through the system, went to college for a bit. Came back to McDonald's and got into the management program, did the whole progression through the shift management phase, assistant management phase, general management phase, went into the training departments for a while, went into supervision for a while, got into field service as I got older, and worked with a bunch of different operators, and then left the company. Probably about 8 years ago or something like that. Went to work for an operator simply because, in field service, there's a lot of travel. And I was gone away from home from 4 or 5 days a week, which wasn't really sitting that well with me. So I went to work for an operator and eventually landed here with the Bucefaro organization, and it's been exciting. 4 years so far. It's about 4 years.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I feel like
Something
it's been
that.
3.5, 4 years.
Yeah, I think this
Time
December is
flies.
4. It's
It really
4
does.
So, it's been a good ride with this organization, and I'm excited to continue working with the organization and help development the people in the restaurants. And so, in a nutshell, that's what I've done. Over the past 44 years. That's a pretty big hamburger.
So yeah.
For 44 years.
That is that's awesome.
So that's a little bit.
What's been great, Tom, the more I've gotten to know you over the 4 years, the more I've learned about how just valuable your insights are and the way you provide insights to our team and the professionalism and obviously the 40 some years of experience helps with all of this, but we can truly learn a lot from you. And I love the capacity and the talent that you bring to the organization. You've now done a lot of our inspections over the last couple of years, and we have a really good clip because I'm going to tell you, right, whenever I think of inspectors, right, in the McDonald's world or just restaurant business or just any business, sometimes it brings that oh shoot moment to us.
Yeah,
so,
oh boy.
Yeah, right. Let's play the clip. I think it's hilarious. I think you'll enjoy it too.
Hello.
Kitchen this way?
Yes. Just 1 second. Yeah. Health department.
Heard. Hey, how you doing today? I'm Terry. I'm the manager here.
How we looking on that ribeye, Pickles?
5 minutes,
Chef,
chef.
yeah.
Health department, guys.
Oh, what the?
Oh no!
I need new dates on all these
Heard,
labels.
Chef, new dates.
Roll that out. Check your tips. How's the weather out
I
there?
didn't notice. Which way's the kitchen?
Real quick, I got this refrigerator at home.
Check your tips. I
fridge
need
stopped
new
working
dates
2
and
days
labels.
ago.
Get that rag out of here. Put that rag in the
It's
bucket.
clean.
All right,
Hey,
everybody,
hey,
move. Wash your
too
hands.
big.
Put the rags down.
Health department. Mind if I look around?
Oh,
By all means, please. Yeah, we're just cooking and cleaning. Great, thank you.
Hey, do you want some candy?
So Bistro Huddy is created by Drew Talbert. He's a TikToker, he's online. And I just feel like it's just so funny because let's face it, does that happen in the restaurants?
Every single time.
No, you're never caught by a
Every
surprise.
single time.
Never surprised, always ready?
There's always those old crap moments that, whenever somebody shows up unexpectedly, whether it's an outside health department like the video said, or McDonald's personnel or EcoSure, a third-party food safety visit, or even some of
More
our
of
own
us,
leadership
yeah.
in the restaurants. Yeah.
I've heard a whisper. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, Eric's here. Yeah, it's like, oh. And I've seen the eye rolls too a couple times when I walk into the restaurant, and it's
No.
like, oh God, now we got to go through this today.
Uh-huh.
You know, so there's always those type of moments, you know. But at the end of the day, I think they're also very productive for the restaurant because. You know, they have to be on their P's and Q's throughout that visit, which, you know, obviously they should be every single day.
Well, that's what we're trying to get to,
yes.
right? And I think those moments happen when we're just kind of going through the motions and we're not really coaching and helping the restaurant team develop. And that's where over the last 6 to 12 months, you and the program and what you're doing is it's really that mantra: if you're always ready, you don't have to get ready. So how does that look in the real world, though? Like, because let's face it, it's easier said than done.
That is correct. You know, my message to the restaurants when I go in and visit the restaurants is we have to make sure that every single day that we work, we comply with McDonald's standards, policies, and procedures. Because it's a proven system over the years that McDonald's has been in business and stuff that will maximize our potential growth and restaurant results, whether it be service times, food quality, profitability, all of that stuff is encompassed in if we do the things that we're supposed to do on a daily basis, those things will fall into place and the restaurant will be successful. And if the restaurant is successful, then obviously the people working in the restaurants will also be successful. And quite frankly, I tell the staff in the restaurants when I visit them, if we do these things on a consistent basis and build those routines, primarily through a shift management perspective, things will run better in the restaurants, and actually their jobs will be much easier.
Yeah.
Too often we forget to do those things that we try to build the routines for on a day-to-day basis, because let's face it, on every single day, something happens, right? And it throws us off of our game for a moment or two, or even maybe sometimes longer. But at the end of the day, the reason why it throws us off our game because we don't have those routines and processes in place in the restaurant.
Sure.
And if we had those routines and processes in place in the restaurant, we would be able to handle those
Things that
moments
comes up, yeah.
that happen.
Great way to put it.
And at the end of the day, like I said, it will make things much, much easier for us in the restaurants. And that's kind of the coaching that I do when I go into the restaurants. Obviously, you know, we want to say, hey, if you're always prepared, you don't have to get prepared, just like we said earlier before. But also we have to have those routines in place from a shift management standpoint about knowing where your business is, knowing where your service is, knowing where your restaurant sits at a minute-by-minute time frame. Because it's not day after day after day. Our business is a minute-by-minute business.
Yeah.
You know, things can happen at any moment. And if you have those routines built into your shift managers, and that's where the GMs come in about conducting the internal verifications, myself doing the shift management verifications, going in, preparing the restaurants to be graded, will help build those routines in the restaurant. And I think it'll make the restaurant stronger, you know, not only for the graded part of the McDonald's,
but just for the operations part.
yeah, the operations for the day after their graded visit. And then the week after their graded visit. And maybe a month or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 after their graded visits, that if we put those routines in place and consistently do them, the restaurant overall will run better in the long term.
And I think we're starting to see that, Tom. I think we're starting to see more restaurants being ready than not, right? Like, I don't hear as much. And I know for those of you, and I appreciate it, and I know you get ready, like the announced inspections, right? Like, let's just talk announced for a minute. Well, I worked, 100 hours and I spent, all night cleaning. Well, like, that doesn't impress me, though.
No.
So, like, how do we just avoid all of that? You talked a lot around systems and routines, but I'm going to tell you, Tom, how do we keep that motivation? How do we keep the energy around that on an everyday basis? Because sometimes we just, like you said, we just get into that daily little funk and we lose sight of the long-term game. So in your opinion, how do you consistently coach your team to the standards?
Right. So, I mean, and I agree with you. It's difficult because the day-to-day minutia in McDonald's sometimes pulls the attention away from the things that we should be doing on a day-to-day basis. And it's hard out there. I don't disagree with that. I mean, our business is a hard business. I don't think people appreciate that to the extent that it is. But at the end of the day, it all revolves around the top leadership in the restaurant. And they have to come prepared every single day with a determination. And that's what I've been starting talking about, determination. Coming in determined to do something better that day.
Okay.
Whether it's KVS times, whether it's voice, whether it's service times or whatever, but you have to have that determination coming in every single day. And then coach that to their team as well so that they come in with a determination every day. Come in with a plan. I want to do this today, whether it's scrubbing a baseboard, whether it's hitting a better OEPE than their previous shift. Whatever it is, come in with that determination and make it happen. So if we lose sight of that, if we just come in and, well, it's just another day at McDonald's, we'll never continue to move the restaurants forward. So at the end of the day, it's all about determination.
Hear
And
a
that
little-
starts
yeah.
on the top leadership.
I hear a little bit of power of positivity in there too, right?
Yeah.
With the daily minutia, sometimes it can be negative, and we've talked about that a lot. How negative, thoughts can really drain you.
Yep.
But yeah, that determination is key.
Well, it's a great way to drive in because we want people to punch in with a purpose, right? Because it's easy to go through the daily motions, but when you punch in with a purpose, when you're determined, you can accomplish so much more sometimes. You also mentioned that this is a leadership thing. It's not necessarily the manager, right? Obviously, the difference between leadership and managers, but leaders lead.
Correct.
So leadership does make a difference, especially when it comes to just being always ready.
Correct.
So how do we help our leaders lead?
So I think what we can do is, once again, circle back to what we talked about before, is knowing the knowledge level of McDonald's standards, policies, and procedures.
Yep.
Right? As long as they know those standards
Yeah.
and coach to them and work through them and set the example themselves on a day-to-day basis, I think that the restaurant will be in much better position. For instance, walking by opportunities in our restaurant. Once you walk by an opportunity in the restaurant, you have set the new standard that's okay.
Yeah.
If you walk by and correct that opportunity, or at least make an effort to, and be determined to make it better moving forward, it'll change the culture in the restaurant. And that's, I think, where we need to really focus on, is making sure that our top leadership in the restaurant are the example setters for their team. Yeah. Because if they don't be the example setters for their team, things tend to go awry.
I want to kind of just full circle here. So Terry in the video, he wasn't being a very good leader by trying to distract that inspector. He was trying to buy the kitchen some time. So now Nicole and all those other guys are like, oh, that's okay. We can stall the inspector.
Correct.
But you're saying do the opposite.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah. So kind of as we wrap up, Tom, this is a really good conversation around inspections.
Sure.
I remember being the person like the day of inspection, all of a sudden you're trying to correct everything all the time, but we can get ahead of that. And I'm excited for our organization's future as we look to live this every day rather than just inspection based only type performance. So what's the one or two things that you'd want the audience to walk away with today?
So at the end of the day, I think the one or two things that I want the audience to walk away with is always be prepared. Mm-hmm. Like we said at the beginning, because if you're always prepared, you don't have to get prepared. But once again, coach to the standard every single day. Do not walk by opportunities. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot. It is exhausting. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you do that, tomorrow will be easier for you.
Yeah.
And the next day will be easier for you. Yeah. So once again, it starts with the top leadership in the the restaurants and our organization to constantly coach to the standards every single day. Don't walk by things because, well, Jed, that's just the way it is here at this McDonald's. That's not the case. At the end of the day, you know the standard. Make sure you have the knowledge level. coach to the standard every single day, and then follow up afterwards. And I think that's what we need to do in our restaurants, not only from a GM standpoint, but to the basic level shift management standpoint, that if they're doing that every single day, things in the restaurant will be much easier. Yeah, you're going to have those bad days. Everybody has a bad day, and things happen. But if you're following those routines and processes, you'll be able to deal with it more effectively than if it's always a bad day.
And probably recover faster
Correct.
from that bad time or bad day. Yeah.
Correct.
Very cool.
This is great. We
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time
Hey,
to
yeah,
spend
my
it with us and
pleasure.
our audience.
Thanks, Tom.
Absolutely.
You did great.
I am,
No need-
I am
still
here
nervous?
to help develop these people and make their jobs easier. Because when their jobs are easier, my
Your
job
job's
is a lot
easier.
A
easier.
lot, yeah, it does.
So it's a little
That it does.
self-serving, to be honest with you.
Hey,
That's-
But hey,
yeah.
as
Gets it
long
done.
as it's beneficial for the restaurants
Absolutely,
and the organization as well.
You're right.
cool.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Listen, learn, lead. We'll see you next time.
Appreciate it.
Perfect.
Thanks for joining us on Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. We hope today's episode inspired fresh ideas for your leadership journey. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and keep learning with us as we continue to explore leadership in the QSR world. Until next time, take care and lead well.